Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking world news and updates. Today's story takes us deep into Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe, where tensions are boiling over in two different regions, Thailand and Cambodia on one side, and Belarus on the other, creating a sense of global instability that has world leaders on edge. The possibility of two regional crises unfolding simultaneously has analysts warning that the world could be on the brink of a dangerous escalation. In Southeast Asia, the long-simmering border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia has once again erupted into open confrontation. Reports indicate that both countries have begun mobilizing troops near their shared frontier, particularly around the disputed Pre-Vihir Temple area, a flashpoint that has seen deadly clashes in the past. The situation began escalating after recent accusations from both governments, each claiming the other had violated their territorial sovereignty. Thai officials alleged that Cambodian forces had crossed into their side of the border, while Cambodia countered that Thailand had been constructing illegal fortifications within Cambodian territory. The rhetoric from both sides has grown increasingly aggressive. Thailand's leadership has vowed to protect its national integrity at all costs, while Cambodia's prime minister has accused Thailand of attempting to provoke a military confrontation. International observers fear that the situation could spiral out of control, especially given both nations' recent military posturing and nationalist fervor being stirred up in local media. With regional organizations like ASEAN struggling to mediate, there's growing concern that one wrong move could ignite a conflict that destabilizes the entire region. Adding to the complexity, there are reports that both militaries have been conducting exercises close to the border, which each side interprets as preparation for an attack. Civilians living in nearby villages have begun to flee, fearing a repeat of past clashes that left dozens dead and thousands displaced. Analysts believe that domestic political pressures are also playing a major role in the escalation. Thailand's current government is facing significant unrest at home, while Cambodia's ruling party continues to tighten its grip on power following disputed elections. Both leaders may see the border crisis as a way to rally nationalist support and distract from domestic discontent. While Southeast Asia braces for potential conflict, Europe is watching a completely different but equally alarming development: Belarus's latest move involving nuclear weapons. President Alexander Lukashenko has confirmed that Belarus has taken further steps in its cooperation with Russia to deploy tactical nuclear weapons on its soil. This move has been widely condemned by NATO and the European Union, as it marks a significant escalation in the militarization of Eastern Europe. Lukashenko's decision is seen as a direct message to both Ukraine and the West. With Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine showing no clear end in sight, Belarus has positioned itself as a loyal ally of Moscow, offering territory, logistics, and political backing. Now, by allowing Russian nuclear weapons within its borders, Minsk has effectively become an extension of Russia's nuclear deterrent, placing NATO members like Poland and Lithuania within immediate striking distance. Experts warn that this development could fundamentally change the security landscape of Europe. NATO forces along the alliance's eastern flank are now on high alert, and there have been renewed discussions about deploying additional U.S. and European troops to reinforce defenses in the region. Meanwhile, Western intelligence agencies are monitoring Belarusian military movements closely, fearing that Lukashenko might use nuclear threats as leverage to deter any perceived aggression or to strengthen his hand domestically. The global reaction has been swift and divided. Russia hailed Belarus's decision as a necessary step to counter Western provocations, while Western powers have condemned it as reckless and destabilizing. The United Nations has called for restraint, but with little influence over Moscow or Minsk, diplomatic efforts seem unlikely to reverse the trend. The timing of Belarus's announcement coinciding with the Thailand Cambodia tensions has only heightened global anxiety. Observers are increasingly concerned that the world is entering a new phase of unpredictable regional conflicts that could easily overlap or influence one another. In Southeast Asia, a Thailand-Cambodia war could draw in neighboring countries and disrupt key trade routes, while in Europe, a nuclear-armed Belarus deepens fears of escalation between Russia and NATO. These two seemingly separate crises highlight a broader pattern: the breakdown of international cooperation and the rise of aggressive nationalism. It's also worth noting that both regions share a common theme: leaders facing internal instability turning outward to assert dominance or distract from domestic problems. In Thailand, mass protests and political divisions have eroded confidence in the government, while Cambodia's regime faces criticism for its authoritarian rule and human rights abuses. In Belarus, Lukashenko has faced years of international isolation and domestic discontent since his disputed re-election in 2020. By aligning himself more closely with Putin and wielding nuclear threats, he's attempting to project strength both externally and internally. As the international community watches these developments unfold, the big question remains: how close are we to a broader global crisis? Some analysts argue that the simultaneous rise in regional tensions from Europe to Asia to the Middle East reflects a new world order emerging from the ashes of the old. The post-Cold War balance of power is collapsing, replaced by a fragmented system where smaller nations act more boldly, confident that the great powers are too divided to intervene decisively. However, the risk is that miscalculation could trigger something far larger than intended. A border skirmish between Thailand and Cambodia could quickly drag in allies or destabilize Southeast Asia's fragile balance. Meanwhile, any escalation involving Belarus and Russia could put NATO and the West on a collision course with Moscow, with catastrophic global consequences. Diplomats are now racing to cool tempers before these flashpoints ignite. ASEAN officials are reportedly preparing emergency meetings to prevent a Thailand-Cambodia conflict, while NATO leaders continue to pressure Belarus to roll back its nuclear deployment. Yet, neither side seems willing to back down. In both cases, pride, politics, and power are driving decisions that could endanger millions. As things stand, the world finds itself once again standing at the edge of uncertainty. From the jungles of Southeast Asia to the frozen plains of Eastern Europe, tensions are spreading like wildfire. The fear is that we may be witnessing the early stages of a global era defined not by cooperation, but confrontation. Whether the world steps back from the brink or tumbles headfirst into chaos depends on the choices made in the coming days. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor these rapidly developing stories. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next updates as we follow the Thailand-Cambodia crisis and Belarus's nuclear gamble, two unfolding events that could shape the future of our world.